Hi guys, and welcome back to World of Tanks, and yeah, another random destruction for you, Double Aces edition, I suppose. But yeah, well, there's that new TD out, the new French TD, and I'm not going to embarrass myself or insult anybody by trying to pronounce it. But yeah, a new French TD Tier 8. I am working on the review of that. I've got a bit of footage for it, but I didn't have quite enough time to finish off everything I wanted to do for the review as such. I mean, I'm kind of figuring things out. I don't have much experience with French TDs in general. I think I've only gone up to tier 6 in them, so it's just sort of figuring things out and seeing how it compares to the Tech Tree ones to try and give you some sort of idea. But it's not bad. It's quite nippy and it's alright. So yeah, the review for that will hopefully be going up in the morning. But for now, we've got this video again, a bit of a longer one. I'm in the WZ-132. Which is a tier 8, well, the tier 8 Chinese light tank. I'm also platooned up with my lovely wife. She's in her T32, I think, and unfortunately she doesn't have a particularly good match, I'm afraid. She's finding it's a tier 9 match, and she's finding the T32 is quite frustrating. It's not too bad when it's top tier, but I have my issues with the T32, namely with the gun. Actually, they're my issues. I think what it is with the T32, and I'm sort of digressing away from what's actually going on in the match. But yeah, my problem with the T32 is it's got the same gun as the T29, which on the T29 at tier 7 is a great gun. It is it's a very, very nice heavy tank gun, I think, or I find. Not the most accurate, but it's, I like it. However, on a tier 8 heavy, it's not so good, because it's, you're more likely to be seeing tier 9s, and you're going to see tier 10, and the penetration on it is just lacking a little bit. And I think the argument for that is that obviously the T32 does have a good strong turret, which it does. It's, it's thicker than the T29. But my counter argument to that is that the T32 also has a commander's hatch that is much easier to hit than the T29. So I think it just needs a little bit more pen, not too much, maybe bump it up to 212, something like that on the T32, but it does need a bit more. But anyway, regardless of that, back to the match, really. Sorry if I sounded a bit spaced out just then, but my phone started ringing, so I just had to see who it was. Anyway, back to the match. So, I'm not entirely sure quite where my wife is at the moment. You might be able to see her on the map. I do struggle actually with being colourblind. I do kind of struggle to pick out... Oh, is she dead? Yeah, there you go. Unfortunately, yeah, sorry. She's already died, I'm afraid. But anyway, back to this. So, it's not been going too great. We are only one tank down at the moment, but as you can see on the other side of the valley there, the enemy team have been pushing through, so that's why I've dropped back off that hill, because there's, to be honest, it's more unusual that I see this kind of spread from a team that start down in that sort of southwestern corner. It seems that a lot of the enemy tanks have gone across the valley, and quite often they come up the the main part of the map to the sort of town, village type thing on this and Westfield. So it is a little bit more unusual, but the guys up there seem to have got a handle on it, but the other side of the valley, as I said, is looking a bit iffy. Which is why I decided to drop back down this way. And then I decided to go after that light tank, and yeah, that's when I started lighting up a bit more of the enemy team on the other side of the hill. Now, thankfully, there are some guys back up in the sort of town, village type bit that are ready to put shots in across there, which is quite nice. And I do, well, I have taken a little bit of damage. I can't remember if that was from down here or from earlier on, but I do manage to get away by doing a bit of weaving in and out of those rocks and try and escape the fire. Yeah, you've got to keep moving. Now, I don't really like using auto aim to sort of fire like that, but unfortunately with how the controls are on console with the control pad, I do find that in light tanks it is very, very difficult to actually drive and aim down the gun yourself on console. So it's, when you're trying to concentrate on what you're doing, you're trying to move the camera around, you're moving around very quickly, and you need to be seeing exactly what's in front of you. So yeah, it can be quite difficult to do that. So it is a bit with that. I don't know. I don't know. Like I said before in that other video, when I generally use auto aim 4 or auto target, sort of target lock on, should I say. But in light tanks I do get a little bit lazy with it because it's, I don't know, whenever I try and aim myself and I'm moving, I always crash and end up dying from it. So that's why I end up doing it. Now I managed to take down that Crafts Panther. Was that me that took him down? If not, somebody else did. And I'm just paying attention to what he's saying down on the bottom of the screen there, telling me to stop because he's reloading. I didn't notice he was reloading before, but I decided to pop up, or I was going to pop up, and he told me to stop, and that's when I realised he was reloading. So it's nice in this game that we actually see, you know, instructions and things from teammates, because it's not very often that people tend to use the wheel, you know, the communication wheel. You do occasionally see it, but normally it's just map pings and things like that. But it is nice that the auto loaders are actually using it to let me know when they're reloading, so that I don't go up there and spot it for nothing. Basically, if they're not ready to fire, there's not much point in me spotting. Now that T34-2, I think it is over there, giving me a bit of trouble, taking a bit of damage from that. And again, I'm going to try and weave my way down. I didn't want to stay up on that side of the hill. I was taking hits from him. I had a feeling that some other stuff might have been coming over that hill, so that's why I decided to drop down, and took more damage than I anticipated, and I'm quite surprised I didn't take any damage over those rocks, and it would be just my luck. But yeah, I did take a bit more damage than I really wanted to in that exchange, so I'm going to be a lot more careful now over what I'm doing and where I'm going. And let's have a little sneak up this way. Now that light tank was over here somewhere. I'm not entirely sure where. I've got to keep an eye out for him. And there's still quite a few tanks for the enemy team unaccounted for on the map at the moment, so that's again why I'm kind of just creeping up here, see if I can crest this hill. Don't forget this is Chinese, so gun depression is an issue, and yep, being spotted. Started dropping back, just making sure that nothing was targeting me. I do like the targeting thing on console. I don't think you have that on PC, but it is quite useful because obviously 610 goes off if anything can see you, and then if something is actually looking at you or aiming at you, you get your detected thing. I mean, it's not 100% effective. There have been instances where, you know, I've been killed because I think it takes a few seconds for it to actually kick in. But that's something I'd have to check on. I'm just trying to remember back. But yeah, I think detected does take a couple of seconds to kick in once somebody is looking at you, so it's not an instant thing. So, you know, it's nice to have, but it can let you down occasionally. Now, it's looking a bit more favourable, for us at least. Not so much for the enemy team, but yeah, it's definitely in our favour at the moment. Again, they seem to be pushing their way down off that hill while we're working our way around this side of the valley. And yeah, I think I'm pretty much a one-shot kill for everything that's left. So I'm just creeping forwards slowly. It is nice to have an auto-loader with me. Something with a bit more armour and a bit more health. But I'm still going to have to be very cautious. And oh, there we go. Missed on that one, but I need to get back. He's not looking this way, but if he was, that could have been a lot nastier. Now, there's still quite a few tanks that are not accounted for, so I'm going to start slowing down. There's a tortoise. But I'm not going to keep going, I'm just going to keep this one spotted. If anything else crops up, fair enough. But this is where you just want to wait at this sort of stage, especially, you know, when you're on low health like I am. And it's just get things spotted, just get them into your spotting range, and then stop. Because I'll be able to outspot TDs. There's still a medium tank knocking about, and some of these mediums can have, well, pretty good view ranges. Let's face it, they really can compete with the light tanks on the view range. The only thing the light tanks have, obviously, is they keep their camo rating well on the move. Or they used to. I don't know if they've changed that. They did make a lot of changes to light tanks, and there have been a few since I last played, but I'm pretty sure that's still the case. I don't see why they'd change that as well. But it's, oh, there's the medium, and I'm still not spotted though, so I was pretty confident. Keeping an eye out for him, but he's behind the rocks. Let's see if we can do anything about these TDs. Nope, not quite. But somebody behind me took him out. And then there's just the tortoise. Can I get him? I have switched to premium for the tortoise. Go for his commander's hatch. And, oh, lovely. That was a nice little shot, even if I do say so myself. Now, 2 heavies. There's 1 heavy there, the T34, and there's the medium left. But you'll notice I said 2 heavies. Yep. I forgot about the other heavy. So there's the medium. I don't know how I forgot about the other heavy. I think I was just getting a little bit excited and just thinking, yeah, I want to go and get rid of this medium and see if I can circle him and go out in a blaze of glory, because this should be a win. And I'm just still being a bit cautious, and I completely, as I said, forgot about the other heavy. Even though it's popped up on the map, I got a bit of tunnel vision at this point, and yeah, it sort of led to my downfall. There we go, and you just saw him explode in the distance. So if I'd have waited a second more, or somebody had been able to fire at him a second earlier, that could have turned out quite differently. But as it happens, I didn't quite make it to the end of the match. But you know, it didn't take them long to hunt him down. Well, hunt him down. They knew where he was. Didn't take them long to finish him off, should I say? But I still came out with 2,600 of my own damage, just under 4.5 assisted as well. An ace tanker and a patrol duty. So very, very happy with that. And I think that's possibly the best match I've ever had in the WZ132. So doubly happy with that one, I suppose. But yeah, I do like it. I did feel that the Chinese tanks were lacking somewhat before the light tank update, but now sort of inadvertently caught up because the other light tanks have been slowed down a little bit, so they're kind of sort of on par for the speed now with a lot of the other light tanks. Anyway, my new toy, the Minuteman T29. I think I said when I did the review of this, I do like this tank. I wanted to add it to my garage. Never got a chance, and I picked it up out of the premium tech tree yesterday, I think it was. I do like this tank. It is slow. It's got a shit view range. It really does. You know, I'll just be blunt. Its view range is appalling. But I do like it. I do like the T29 though as well. And I mean, the mobility on this, I suppose I could compare it to a stock T29. I think it's definitely got the view range of a stock T29, but obviously it's got 105mm gun on it, the top gun. But I want to say, and again, this is, you know, it's been 4 months, but I want to say it's got a slightly slower rate of fire than the same gun, obviously, on the regular T29, which is why I've got premium consumables on Kohler, etc., that sort of thing. I do run it a bit like a scrub with full premium consumables, but who cares? Yeah, I do like it though. The spaced armour is quite troll and can be very trolly. I was in a match yesterday and I think got swarmed by well, there was a light tank, I think a T6 light tank, there was an E25 and something else, and they were just swarming me, going around me, and I think out of about 35 hits, I think 25 blocked, something like that. They just kept getting eaten by the spaced armour. So it is very, very trolly, but again, it's not something that you really want to rely on as such, because if you do rely on it too much, then it probably will just let you down. But it is just nice to have it there, so I kind of try and play it a bit more like a regular T29, try and hide my hull as much as I can. But against certain things, you can be quite confident that they're going to probably bounce. But again, it's just kind of learning what's what. But a lot of the extra armour on this is spaced armour. But I think on the front it might have extra bits of track, or it might have something a bit more substantial frontally. Again, it just sort of from memory, so, you know, take it with a pinch of salt. I just thought I'd show you this round because it was a good fun round. Now, again, I'm platooning with my wife. She's actually going through one of the mercenary contracts. I can't remember which one for, which is why she's in a hammer. She really doesn't like the hammer, but she's got to be in it to do that part of the contract, so I thought it would help her out. I think we've got to get 2 wins at this point in a row. She's only just started out on one of them. That T29's pushed around a little bit. She's unfortunately got herself stuck in a bit of a situation there. There's that snake bite coming up on her left. And there's some others at the front, and there's the T29 over on the right, and I'm trying to support her as best I can. But I can't get quite round on them that way because there's stuff over on my left as well. And then again, unfortunately, she got taken out. So all I can do now is try and avenge her death, which is what I'm going to try and do. You can see I'm bouncing quite a few off the hull. It has still got some sort of weak patches on the front of the hull, but they are kind of small, and at that kind of range, it is very difficult to actually hit them. I'm not sure if something started firing premium then. I don't know if you can hear anything in the background, by the way, sort of a pitter-patter, but it is raining pretty heavily where I am, so if you can hear that in the background, I do apologise, but there's not much I can do about the weather, I'm afraid. But now they are starting to swarm a little bit. I've got some backup over here. Yeah, the snake bite's making a run around me. So I've dropped down, can't quite get my gun on him, and I've got to carry on and get out and around. Just that 3001P and the T29 are pushing up behind as well, so get myself in a better position where hopefully I'm not going to get surrounded quite as easily. No, I should have really aimed that shot, but it was just a bit of a quick snapshot as he was pulling back. And again, if I can just try and get some shots off. No, I got him with that one, and he certainly felt that. Now, where's that T29 going? It's not too bad. We do have a lead at this point, a couple of tanks. It's still quite a few left though on the enemy team. And thankfully I've got a bit of backup up here. I think that's a heavy, there's a TD. I'm not sure, there's something that's now behind me out in the field. As I've said before, my preview window is quite small on here, so it's quite difficult for me to see the map sometimes. And yeah, there's that nice trolley, extra bits of armour. That's the T29 dealt with, and that's I'd say him and the Tiger are possibly the biggest threats out of what's left. As you can see, that VK, he's struggling to bend the front of him going up over that ridge. So my upper glacis is angled anyway, and it's got the very nice strong turret. It is the stock turret from the T29, hence the sort of really poor view range that this has got. And I'd say that's my only gripe with this, really. I mean, the sort of mobility I can live with. It's understandable. It's got more armour. But yeah, I think my only gripe with this is that view range. Now, the Tiger, he's on quite full health, but we've got a bit of backup up here now. And hopefully we should be able to pick them off. There's an absolution that keeps popping around the corner. Being very daring. A little bit more daring than I'd be in that. There's that Tiger again, and the absolution's back, and he's done. I've just got to try and get this Tiger, and not quite quick enough on the reload. It does have a slower reload than the standard T29 with this gun as well. So you do notice that every now and again, especially if you're really familiar with the T29. You go in that a lot. You do kind of notice that, and yeah, really messed that shot up. I was hoping it'd go through there, but it didn't. It did hit that wreckage, so that was a bit of a pain. And now it's just trying to find a spot that I can shoot through in between those gaps in the wreckage, and I managed to get the VK. He's just been finished off, should I say. Struggling to talk now. Oh dear, the Tiger's managed to finish off the guy that was up here with me. Just over to my right, but now there's just two heavies left and a medium, and I'm pretty sure, I think one of them's a Churchill, the other one might be the VK4503, I think, although I could be slightly wrong with that one. In fact, we'll find out soon. I think I do check on the list, but now it's a case of just heading back and just trying to pick off the ones that are left. There is a medium knocking about as well, so I'm not quite sure what that one is. There we go. Yeah, KV13 I think it was the medium. It is a Churchill 7, and the 4503, so it's just a case of seeing if I can get back there in time to do any damage. But that VK does seem to be holding off the teammates, so I think I'm going to cut across I wouldn't have any problems getting through the front of it. You know, I'm not sort of bothered about that. It's just if I can get him at a better angle, if he's sort of managed to get himself in a good place. If I can get a better shot on him, then why not? And then that's when the Churchill 7 made his presence known. And I did think he might be able to pen the front of my tank, because obviously the Minuteman T29, the Churchill 7 can pen the front of that on the hull. So I was just a bit wary, probably a bit too wary, more than I had to be. Just trying to get a shot on him, just missed and hit the gun there. And he's now being forced backwards by shots coming in from another one of my teammates, I think. The VK is still around, the KV-13 is still unaccounted for, I'm not entirely sure where he is. Got the side of the Churchill's turret, and he's nearly done. In fact, I don't think I'm going to get another shot at him. Nope, there we go, he's dead. That just leaves the KV-13 wherever he is, and the 4503. Now let's see if we can get to the side of him. Let's see if we can find that KV-13. I'm not entirely sure where he's going to be hiding. But I mean, as you can see, when this gets going, you know, it's not too bad when it actually gets going and picks up speed. It's just getting it to pick up speed and get going in the first place that can be a bit frustrating and take its time. We found the KV-13. Managed to track me, but again, I'm feeling pretty safe from where I am, and pretty safe from his gun. And can I get the last hit on him, take him out? Am I going to get the reload? Nope, not quite. And he got taken down by one of my teammates, but it was a nice win, and I was really happy with the amount of damage that I did in that one. So I came out with quite a nice earning of silver, 145,000. Now I did have some extra from the ops there. I think there's a couple, I think it totaled about an extra 30%, something like that from the ops, but I did get an ace, steel wall, Confederate as well, and just over 4,300 damage done. And just over nearly 3,900 damage blocked as well. I do like the extra armour on that, it is kind of trolly. And it does, I don't know, it's not something that you really need to rely on so much in some of the higher tier matches, but in the when you are top tier like that one, you really can just sort of go to town on a lot of things. Just got to watch out for, you know, your tigers and things like that. But anyway, there you go. Hope you've enjoyed that. I certainly enjoyed doing those games anyway, and I'll be back tomorrow with the review of that new French TD. Yeah, nearly forgot what it was then. Anyway, take care of then. I'll catch you next time. See you later.